this example, we're going to look at how to use matrices and matrix multiplication to rotate a figure with known vertices so many degrees around the origin. So here in this problem, we've been asked to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise around the origin. So just like I was doing in the other problems, I'm going to go ahead and set up our coordinates of our points in a matrix. Our x coordinates going in the first row, our y coordinates going in the second row. So my x coordinates are 1, 5, and -2. 1, 5, -2. My y is going in the second row. 1, 2, 3. And again, each column should represent one of the points. Now, to perform this specified rotation, we need to know or look up the matrix that will perform such a rotation. The matrix that will perform such a rotation of 90 degrees counterclockwise around the origin, like this asks, would be the matrix 0, -1, 1, 0, like that. So this matrix, when multiplied by this matrix, will produce the new coordinates after this 90-degree rotation counterclockwise around the origin has taken place. So now we just have to remember how to do matrix multiplication. Go ahead and do that over here. You take the first row times the first column to get this first entry. So I do 0 times 1, which is 0. I do -1 times 1, which is -1, and I add those together. So this would be -1. And then I take the first row and the second column. So I do 0 times 5, which is 0. -1 times 2 is -2. Add the column, and I get -2. Then finally, I take this row times this column, do 0 times 2, which is 0, -1 times 3, which is -3 for that. And I filled in my first row. Now I move to the second row of this matrix and again use it with each of the columns. So it's first thing here times this, so 1 times 1 is 1, 0 times 1 is 0, 1 plus 0 is 1. This row, this column, 1 times 5 is 5, 0 times 2 is 0, 5 and 0 makes 5. And then finally, this row, this column, 1 times -2 is -2, 0 times 3 is 0, -2 and 0 is -2. So now I have the coordinates of my image. These were the coordinates, the pre-image before the transformation takes place, this transformation specifically being a rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. These are the coordinates of what we call the image, the result afterwards. And I will go ahead and write them with the prime notation. So A prime would be the point -1, 1. B prime would be the point -2, 5. And finally, C prime would be -3, -2. Like that. And that's how you use matrices, at least in this specific case, the matrix that will rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise around the origin. I've put some of the other rotation matrices on one of the Google slides for you to refer back to. So make sure you're using the correct matrix here based on the rotation that it's asked, and then make sure you know how to execute matrix multiplication, and just be careful you don't make any silly mistakes.